Oh, how are we all doing today? What's that? Okay, well, I hope you're doing better. Oh. Alright, today I'm going to have cigarettes, have weed, and have some juice, and some tea. So, I don't care what you think. I made a video about national broadcast murder. Yeah, I suppose that's what it's considered. I didn't even see that. And I did Isaiah chapter 2. I made a video about those things, and somebody said, "You shaved your beard?" Those things on the table, and you're worried about my... Does that fall under hygiene? You're worried about my hygiene? Or does that fall under personal appearance? You're worried about my personal appearance? We as a people have to rise to a greater level of thinking. Or things will just not be healthy for us. We'll always think at low levels. We'll never think higher. We'll never get to art and architecture without graven images. We've got to strive to be better. And wondering if somebody shaved their face or their butt doesn't get us anywhere near there. I'll tell you what. If you can technically look at a video and see somebody's appearance changed, then their appearance changed. Maybe you should pay more attention to the information that's actually going on. Now, today we're going to watch a video. So let's...
In South, Egypt, it was the other way around. If he was in Egypt during those days.
Alright, so this is called Alert. Now, Brother Mike Stovall sent this over, and I will tell you what, if you watch this video, you should see all the different videos that come at the side of this. How the FBI sabotaged the awakening of the Hebrew Israelites, and actually awakened the Canaanites. The real Hebrew Israelites are black, new evidences. Timbuktu, our history after Jerusalem. Here's a great title. I have not watched this myself. Black Origins of Asia, from Sambos to Negroes. This is quite the title. If I have the time, that's what I'm watching. But Mike sent this over, and this is pretty powerful because I've been saying this to you. I've been printing this out on shirts. You've decided you do not want to buy the shirts. A few people have bought the shirts, and thank you to those people. I'm probably going to be moving past the shirts now, since most of my sales are multiple orders by the same people, so to speak. So the same people are donating to me, and I appreciate that. But the rest of the people are not moving forward with the promoting and using the shirts as a way to awaken the people in their public. So here we have alert: Asians hid prophecy of Negro slavery, and this is Lion's Roar. All right, so. A glimpse of another nation's prophecy regarding the Israelites' trip to the Americas. Now, it doesn't say it's in North America. See, you were taught you were brought to North America from slavery. Now, it says to the Americas. That means from Canada all the way down to South America. Now, let's watch.
South, Egypt, it was the other way around. If you was in Egypt during those days, they called north south and south north. So they was fully in north, which was down south. The real Egyptians are down there. Same thing with Ethiopia. Ethiopia was split actually in half. You got Eritrea now.
So when they built that pyramid, the one of the Egyptians that built that pyramid?
Yeah, no, the Egyptians didn't build it. The Hebrew Israelites was in captivity there. We built the pyramids.
So who were they in captivity by?
They were in captivity by the real Egyptians.
Real Egyptians?
Yeah. You got that? Acts 13:1?
Yeah.
Read this. Look at Acts chapter 13, verse 1.
Now, how many times have you heard Acts 13:1? Right here. On those shirts I produce. Acts 13:1. Let's listen close.
Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers.
Horace Butler teaches us that the church of Antioch is Antiqua. Okay? Antioch Epiphanes, the Greek that's over here fighting with the Israelites in the Americas, was down in South America in Antiqua. That's why it's named Antiqua. That's why you have St. Paul down there.
As Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger.
So Barnabas and Simeon were called Niger. Niger means black. It's the same thing as nigger. It's the same thing as Naga, like in Nagasaki. All right? You had a lot of black men in that part of Japan. When the atomic bomb blew that place up, they had a lot of black artifacts. Okay? That was called Nagasaki. It was black people there. That's why they call it Naga. Okay? They got a place over in India today that they just discovered. They had ivy all over the government buildings and everything. Nobody even knew it existed. When they took all the ivy and burnt all the ivy down.
What did I tell you about Johnny Appleseed? His job was to cover up ancient shit. Now watch this again. Listen. When they cut all the ivy down, we're going to listen to it again.
Government buildings and everything. Nobody even knew it existed. When they took all the ivy and burnt all the ivy down, they had it was like over 3,000 years old. There's a prophecy that the Negroes going to go into captivity to a faraway land. They had us on ships.
Oh, your black ass started in Asia and India, and they called you Indians, Asian Indians, Afro-Asian Indians. Are you getting it yet? They wrote prophecies in the walls because of what we did to them. The Canaanites went before us. We were still in captivity. But when we left...
And the shackles and everything.
Blueprint.
Huh? Like a blueprint, yeah. It was a prophecy.
So what's the who?
That was in India.
And like so the Caucasian or whatever had that was there.
They didn't even know that existed until it just got revealed in the 21st century. They just found that. So there's all kinds of little things. It's just like Noah's flood. Don't you got several different accounts that the flood happened? Hammurabi, the Babylonian, they got his account that the flood happened. There's always more than one account that shows that something happened. Okay? Just like Christ walked on the earth. The Bible talks about it. The Quran talks about it. The book of Josephus talks about it. He existed.
Whoa. The book of Josephus don't talk about that shit. Only Masonic bullshit talks about that shit, including Greek writing and Roman writing. give unto Caesar, slave.
What you have to do is when you do your research, you got to pick out the bones, man. You know, because a lot of these books are lies and a lot of them are not. Give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 12.
Is it good to keep saying Jesus? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, when you're not in the truth and you don't know his name, that's all you know. You're speaking a bastard tongue.
No, actually, he's the one that's speaking this bastard tongue. The Yeshua is an Arabic god. All right? This Son of God that you believe in is Arabic. It is not Hebrew. You're sitting there, well, this is the Hebrew form of it. Well, no. No, actually, it's not. Because all you got to do is type in. See, this guy that lived, this black dude from the military, Yesha. He lives over there, and he started studying. See how Yeshua came up? right? Yesha, right? Wait, oh, they didn't. Oh, it's Yasha. Yasha, excuse me. Yasha. Oh, man. Well, maybe it was. Well, I lost the word. Oh, so when I was sitting there looking through my videos, I was trying to figure out what the name was, but it's so hard. These name games, it's Yatha. Yatha, Arabic savior. Right, now watch this. Now they want to tell you that Yeshua, or Yeshu, is the Hebrew savior, right? Right, now watch. Yeah, what is it? Where did it just go? Yesha, Old Testament and all this stuff, right? Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. Now here we look at this. Now here's Yesha, right? Hebrew acronym for Judea, Simon, Gaza. All right, that's a guy. That's a man. Oh, okay. Maybe wait. It's area. Judea, Samaria area. Now, you know, Judea was in the south and Samaria was in the north with the northern kingdom, right? So that's what you're calling on, right? In this made up area. That's your Yesha. That's Yesha. It's an acronym. Not to be confused with Yesha is also the Hebrew word for salvation, right? So who is the Savior that you've been taught to call on? Yatha, Arabic Savior, is pre-Islamic God. So before Allah was on the scene, they were like, ooh, this is the Savior, worshipped by the Sabaeans and the Himyarites of Yemen. Look up Yemen, and it's Heman or Haman from Genesis chapter 10. No, it's Genesis chapter 36. It's one of Esau's grandchildren. They are Arab. 9 kings have a theophoric name prefixed by Yatha. The name may be an archaic equivalent to Yesha, Now, are you understanding what's going on? Archaic equivalent. Yotha came first and then it got upgraded to Yesha. Remember, your Yesha deals with salvation. Yeshaya is Isaiah, and none of you call that name. You call on Yesha. And Yesha is the new form of the old word Yatha, which can also be pronounced Yesha'a, Yesha'a, Yesha'a. You're taught your Savior is Yeshaya. So if I put an I in there, it's the same name. Yesha'a is Yesha. Yesha is Yatha. And Mizrahim is the Arab Republic of Egypt. They're lying to you. The pictures on the wall are not lying to you. Now, let's get back. It's Yatha. It all connects. Fucking.
For thousands of years and discovered by the French in 1858. It was hidden in the jungle by fig trees. This is the city designated to confirm the banyan.
Figs don't grow in the jungle. Do you understand that? What he said, it was hidden in the jungle. It was built in the jungle, but it was hidden by fig trees. Who talks about fig trees? Christians and their promotion of Christ, right? So when missionaries go and walk through this place, they're gonna find what? Oh, the prophecy of Negroes going in slavery. This is gonna start the 10 kings in their direction. And what do? They do their Roman right and hide the truth. What do they hide the truth with? And how can you prove it? They hide the truth with fig trees. Who talks about fig trees? Their fucking God, the God of war. Christ, I'm gonna cut your family up, but I want you to forgive me afterwards as I enslave you. If you don't understand the game, you don't belong on the goddamn playing board.
The French in 1858. It was hidden in the jungle by fig trees. This is the city designated to confirm the
fig trees don't grow in the wild. They don't grow in the jungle. This man know it. He uses the key phrase hidden. What did Johnny Appleseed do? Apple trees don't grow wild. They don't grow in the forest. That's why they call them groves. They grow in a grove. A fig grows in a grove. Oranges grow in a grove.
Outside world for thousands of years and discovered by the French in 1858. It was hidden in the jungle by fig trees. This is the city designated to confirm.
When Joshua went through Asia, he messed them up pretty bad. This is a pyramid built with a prophecy in it. I hope you understand that. A king called Baalim. And Baalim came and brought his children. And the king wanted something to go against the Israelites.
Okay? So what you have to do is when you do your research, you got to pick out the bones, man. You know, because a lot of these books are lies and a lot of them are not. Give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 12.
Is it good to keep saying Jesus? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, when you're not in the truth and you don't know his name, that's all you know. Speaking of bastard tongue.
From the outside world for thousands of years and discovered by the French in 1858. It was hidden in the jungle by fig trees. This is the city designated to confirm the banyan tree, a tree that starts in the sky. Birds drop their seeds from the sky on the leaves of existing trees. The branches spread out horizontally and then grows down, covering everything beneath it. The tree is worshipped throughout Asia. It's called the tree of God. It is the only tree that starts in the sky and comes down. Here you see it written that one tree covered 20,000 people. It is the most unusual tree on earth. It's the fig tree, the banyan tree, the tree that hid a 36-mile wide city in the jungle for thousands of years. This is the tree of God. Here it is explained that the tree spreads indefinitely and it is not known to die. It's the tree of immortality. It is the most famous tree in Asia, the banyan tree of the religious teachings of the Africans of Asia. This is the entrance to the temple called Angkor Thom, an 8-mile perimeter covers the city. This picture shows you.
Hey, this is the funny thing. When he says African, he means Canaanite. And whether he believes it or not, that's exactly what he means. Because Cain was sent by Ham up through Asia, as that definition says.
How the tree starts in the sky and the roots come down, covering that face.
How do missionaries know that and write it as a definition to other Caucasians? Because they've been there. How do missionaries know where everything is based on a map? Because the map makers went with them as they tracked through these places. As they went and they talked to these people and learned these people's languages all throughout Asia. They can call it a tree of God. But as they explain, the bird drops the seed on other trees and it starts growing from there. And then it grows down to the ground. It is a wonderful name, but just as we have the definition and the reality of how the tree starts growing from the sky, that means people know how to do it. And that means people could have done it hundreds or thousands of years ago. When this was built, it could have been covered immediately. Meaning the tree could have started growing once the pyramid was built. We have no idea. So just because the narrator says, God did this, God did this, God did this, the Negroes were enslaved, and God did do it, and he told us the prophecy that it would happen if we did not follow his laws and statutes and commandments and worship no other God. And that no other God includes angels, fallen angels, or something that claims to be God himself. All men claim to be God at some point.
What you see, those are roots from the tree which started in the sky, covering the face on a tower. There are 50 towers in this city, but this is a picture of that particular city, a map showing you the 36-mile perimeter, and there's a 7-mile perimeter around this city of Angkor Thom. This is the city which we will focus on, the Bayonne, the central temple of Angkor Thom. This city is viewed as a Bible, a sermon in stone. As you can see, it was built by men to confirm and serve as evidence, irrefutable, that even though the city was sacked of its riches when it was discovered by the French, it still bears testimony to the teachings of the black people, the Africans of Asia.
This brother speaking didn't know that the people he's speaking of were Israelites in the Bible prophecy. Well, that's what we've been saying the whole time. But again, Israelites aren't Christians. When Israelites become Christians, they are then heathens. If anybody has a problem with that, then you need to read the Bible, because Christians are Hellenes. Greeks are Hellenes. Greeks wrote in their god, Ares, as Christ. Kratos. Kill, 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 preach forgiveness. Enslave God's chosen people with the curse of Baalim, serve another god. How do you get them to do that? Through torture. You've decided individually your life is more worthy than the life of the group. If we all die, he'll raise up the rocks. We're sitting on the rocks. That means he'll destroy the earth if they destroy us all. We need to stand as one, united, serving him. It doesn't matter that we're spread out.
This shows you that there are, in fact, 50 states in the United States, and there were 50 towers in this city. On the walls of this, is the Europeans coming into Africa. We see they have weapons on their shoulders. This is on the walls in this city.
Unless he can prove the continent is Africa, the video already started off with the Israelites enslaved in Americas. We were here. The Europeans invaded. Show me the ships that we came on if we're slaves. And I'll show you the books where Europeans wrote to other Europeans with no idea that their slave captive would one day read their writing.
We see the African.
We see the Negro, the non-African, the man started on African soil by non-African blood.
Bow and arrow going to meet the
bow and arrow. Jacob's children shall always know the bow.
European on the field of battle. We see the African with his elephants and his weapons of war going to meet the aggressor coming into his country. Here we see the two armies clashing on one single panel on the...
It's interesting. All these trees, like the American forest. I want you to pay attention to this. There are trees in Africa. There are jungles in Africa. But this looks like American forest. This looks like American Indians, how they dress. You better show me a sculpture with boats. It's not hard for me to believe elephants were here. You better show me a sculpture with boats.
Elephants and his weapons of war going to meet the aggressor coming into his country. Here we see the two armies clashing on one single panel on the southern wall at the temple of the Baal in this city. The African army on the left, the European army on the right, and they clash in the center of it.
That's funny. That looks just like the pictures that's in my book. That costs $57,500 if you buy it in its original state.
City. The African army on the left, the European army on the right, and they clash in the center of this stone carving of the European invasion of Africa, as the Europeans lower the African arms to the bottom of the ship and take off.
There is no loading. You can see the backs of the Europeans getting off with their swords and guns up. There's no loading. That's them reaching the coast of the Americas.
To America. Onward to America. The middle passage where the Africans are thrown overboard. The entire history or book of Revelation or unveiling is shown in this city of the kidnapping of Africans from Africa. This city is a book of Revelation and Apocalypse in stone. It is discovered.
Now I need you to think about something. It says Moses and the children of Israel left Egypt, even though definition says Arab Republic of Egypt. They walked for 40 years. They didn't wander in circles like family circus. 40 years.
By the one they call the United States of America and their slaves to identify the truth carved in stone thousands of years before it happens about these people, the Africans of America. This document, this is the true document of the slave trade from Great Britain or the British House of Commons. It consists of certified eyewitness reports of the satanic atrocities of slavery. The fact that it was a conspiracy is evident by the pattern of punishment and the systematic step-by-step method in which it was applied for over 400 years. It is an orgy in the infliction of pain. The infliction of pain on innocent people with eyewitness step-by-step reports on what they was supposed to do and what they intended to do to these people who they identified in their document as an injured humanity.
Now, when you see these pictures, okay, when you see these images, all right, what I want you to think about is I want you to think about the St. Louis Arch. See this around his neck? I want you to think about the St. Louis Arch. If you want a man to not be able to move, you nail an arch around his neck and into the ground, and he cannot move. This is what that arch represents.
Eyewitness reports of the satanic atrocities of slavery. The fact that it was a conspiracy is evident by the pattern of punishment and the systematic step-by-step method in which it was applied for over 400 years. It is an orgy in the infliction of pain. The infliction of pain on innocent people with eyewitness step-by-step reports on what they was supposed to do and what they intended to do to these people who they identified in their document as an injured humanity. They meant to injure these people, and this was their intent. They referred to them as injured humanity.
Children of Africa, right? That's what they want. What? Who did this to them? Christians. Right there. Hey, is this a black newspaper? No, it's a Caucasian newspaper writing about what Christians did to the children of Africa, right? Which is really the children of America, right? See, most of the Caucasians think that the Africans came over here and fucked everything one color. But in reality, the Negro came over here and even banged the African. That's Ephraim for you.
They meant to injure these people, and this was their intent.
No, I'm just joking. That's not. It's everybody, you know.
Refer to them as injured humanity. Christians did this to the children of Africa. Here is how the European artists of that time interpreted that event with his pen. The same event in the British Commonwealth, testifying to what they said that they did at that time to the black man.
Hey, see, they're pushing that this even happened in Europe. So you should pay attention to that.
Here, the testimony from a rock in this hidden city tells exactly what happened, which was known by the gods.
See the beard? You see the beard on the guy. You can see the beard on the guy. You can see the beard on the guy. See, what you need to realize is Africa is populated. Africa is populated. The Americas is where this happened. If we're all from Africa, where is the huge missing people groups? There aren't any. Now when you say in the Americas, where are the huge missing people groups? Well, hell, everybody's like, well, they were all kind of Indians and they're all gone now. We killed them all. What about the Indians that had Negro slaves? Oh, I don't know. But that's their answer. Oh, I don't know. You are the Indians that had Indians as slaves. You've been taught you're from Africa. They just don't want to tell you what time period. See, the lie is you came over with them. But what they really did is they shipped their armies here. Then those boats went home with our slaves captive. This book from the 1600s says they took Indian chiefs. They took our kings to Europe to be slaves. But Freemason literature and Afrocentric mentality go hand in hand. You're from Africa. Well, don't you teach everybody's from Africa? You're from Africa on boats. If we came on boats and we were the cargo, then where was the food? Up there crashing with the waves? How'd they stay on the seas for 5 months if we were the cargo? The provisions to keep the captain and crew alive, and the provisions to keep the slave alive to make the sail. Let me tell you something. If you're shipping slaves from South America and Central America to North America, then you don't need that many provisions. You don't need that much food and fresh water to survive. But if you're shipping them across the other side of the water, don't you get it? They call it the other side of the pond. If you're shipping them that far, then you need the whole freaking boat for cargo just to make the trip. You've been lied to keep your mentality low so that you could be bonded.
The testimony in silence from a stone, from a paper, in a British House of Commons. I just interpret what they said that they did. With their pen, the crimes of passion, with malice that the human mind could think of, with unbridled license, according to their own words. This is the history of the black woman and her babies in the United States of America. By their pen, by their own admission, and by the stones of the Africans of Asia, the black woman giving her baby away to a known beast who had already inflicted the same pain on her. In stone, speaking loud, on paper, they both sing together the same song. The exploitation and degradation and crucifixion of the black people of America with unbridled license. A stone city in Asia, buried in the jungle.
Crucifixion of black people. You're the stranger to God. You're the one that's getting sacrificed. You're his freaking sons. The children of Israel are special to God. They are like the children of God. They are being crucified. There was no Christ historically. You're dying as the Christ. You're being slaughtered. Every day there's a new Christ. He's got black skin and he dies on American soil. The same thing happens in Brazil. Our people are down there, Hebrew, whether they be Edom or Israel, and they're being slaughtered consistently. You don't understand what's truly going on because you have a fucking American dumbass education and you care not about yourself. Knowledge is power, and we are literally the stupidest people on the face of the fucking earth. You must rise above the curse that has been placed on you. You must ask for forgiveness for your forefathers. This is the only way to redeem yourself.
The history of the black people. That black woman was forced to go back to the plantation and give her love to the white woman, the slave master's baby. After she gave her baby away, they made her love his. Incredible. This is according to what they say they did. The passions, the worst passions of the human mind, rage with unbridled license. They call us to extra. They say the pen and the stone, yea, shall bear witness against them. Slave, stone, running away, and the worst thing, getting caught and brought back. Angkor Wat in Southeast Asia, coming back to face the infliction of pain. See, here's some freed slaves with the pen, screaming loud, the woman and her baby being caught and taken.
Look at this. You need to understand this. Freed slaves, people that went along with the system. Okay, freed slaves lived in fear of being kidnapped by whites, such as this gang of Nathans, and being sold back into slavery. So you've got to understand what really happened to our people. And what do they do today? They constantly jail us and make us work in jail. The new form of slavery.
With the pen, screaming loud, the woman and her baby being caught and taken back into slavery. Observe the fear in the child. This is their pen speaking to you. This is the power of their pen.
Listen what he's saying. These are Caucasians telling you that their own people captured already freed slaves and resold them, obviously in different areas.
In stone, slaves being caught, who ran away, brought back and thrown down to a lower hell for lower punishment, being beaten, their tongues being pulled out, hung from trees, savagely beaten with bats, sticks, knives. They had 50-pound bricks, according to what they wrote, that they would crush them with. They would throw them in hot sugarcane oil. They would pour hot lead on them. This is what they say they did in this document, and here it is.
Hot sugarcane oil. So it's still burning oil, right? The same things, the butchery and barbarity that they lived with and dealt with over in Europe. So all they did is come over here practicing the same stuff for their Christian God Christ. If you wanted to be free, how you lived prior to them invading, then they captured you and burned you with fucking oil. Are you understanding what's going on? It's forced conformity. It's different than just slavery.
Screaming from a stone, bearing mute witness to what they say that they did, confirming that.
So listen, if you ran away one time, then you went to the lower hell, and then they started burning you and scolding you and cutting off your limbs or your tongue, right? You need to see the bigger picture. You can't raise your child if you're in the middle of getting your tongue cut out. So your child isn't going to speak your old way. He's going to learn this new language. This new language, you're no longer the son of a chief. You're no longer the son of the people of the land. You're no longer the descendants of the people that signed the treaty. Now in this language of English, you're a fucking nigger. Nigger lift. Nigger bathe me. In English, this is what you are. You've got to understand the root of the madness of the land that we live on now.
Her objective is to force the black woman to know that her new man was the white man, so he branded her. He made her loyal to him. He raped her. He made her carry his baby. Then he invited other nations. He said he was a beast with two horns. North America and South America, the same crime scenes. From the stone of Southeast Asia showed the black man in the...
So you go to jail for pimping out your women, which is truly demoralizing, degrading, a wicked act, but they came over and did it anyway. Now don't be fooled, there weren't that many slave masters. Not all men could do this. So don't go thinking there was, whoa, so many.
The position of the cross, with its penis castrated, the man going with a knife, with pins throughout his body showing severe pain, him and the black woman.
Now listen again.
He was a beast.
How many times do I tell you, you're the Christ? You're their Christ. You're the one that's going to die on the fucking cross for their sins.
The two horns, North America and South America, the same crime scenes. From the stone of Southeast Asia showed the black man in the position of the cross.
Now, the stone in South... What?
And the position of the same crime scenes. From the stone of Southeast Asia showed the black man in the position of the cross. With his penis castrated, the man going with a knife. With pins throughout his body showing severe pain, him and the black woman.
And this is the same thing that the KKK did over here to you? This is the stone in Asia.
Forced to suffer. They are the Christ in Asia. And this is how...
What do they do over here? They hang you to crosses, tie you to trees, cut your penis off. It's the same shit depicted.
They did the Christ in stone and in paper before slavery. They never put him on the cross. The pen and the brick and the rock in harmony. The crucifixion of the Christ. This is true.
See, you're looking at this Christ all wrong. The Christ is their sacrificial victim to their God. See, they've just been taught differently today. They've drifted away from what their true fucking form was. All right? You can see them doing this rape and torture, 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 and then what? "90 years of what? Talking forgiveness? But still in the middle of it, rape and torture, rape and torture, rape and torture."
Of Christ. Black people know very little about this, or nothing at all. Crucifixion of the Christ. This is the true identity of Christ.
See, you're the Christ. You getting hung and burned, you being the sacrificial victim. We got to keep their numbers low. every now and then we gotta take a cow and slaughter it so all the other cows know to shut the fuck up.
The pen and the brick and the rock in harmony. The crucifixion of the Christ. This is the true identity of Christ. Black people know very little about this, or nothing at all. It's them. They eat the whole hog. As you see them putting the whole hog in the pot there, that means they eat hog bone, hog head, and hog jaw. They eat pig feet, pig ears, and pig knuckles, chitlins, fat back, ham hocks, pork chops, pork skins. They eat everything pork. They eat the whole hog. Who else puts this description? They even ate pork and beans. There's your beans. Pork and beans, y'all. Hey, you shall make their hands testify against them. That's what they did. You're the only people on the planet who eat that much pig. Outrageous. The African American went to work for America.
And that's why, another reason why they went into bondage. Eating unclean food.
In the building.
Did you see the guy on his knees begging for a piece? See the guy right here? On his knees. Look at him. See the pig? The blood of the pig dripping on him? Like, is he begging or praying?
You're the only people on the planet.
That's idolatry then.
Beans. Pork and beans, y'all. Hey, you shall make their hands testify against them. That's what they did. You're the only people on the planet.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't this a testimony against them? The bearded Negro on his knees to the altar where the pig's being cut up for what? The sacrifice. Okay, so again, who put the pig on the altar and made the Israelites bow to it? I told you, the Greeks been through here.
That much pig. Outrageous. The African American went to work for America in the building of America, as we see here, as the stone speaks.
In the building of America, right? Industrial slavery. You built the industries.
From the city buried in the jungle in Southeast Asia, he went to work and he did everything he could, which is shown here in stone by his juggling, doing whatever he can, catch as catch can. This is the history. His first big job was fighting for the slave master. He got the highest pay, and he got great respect, and he got a gun. The slave master pointing, kill the enemy, the Vietnamese, the Korean, the Japanese, in the city of Stone in Southeast.
Kill the free slave. Capture or kill the free slave, buffalo soldier, and you can be a free man as well. And what they do after they captured the last groupings? They took the buffalo soldiers, lined them up, and shot them down. Movies depict stringy-haired Indians, and Bob Marley been telling you from the start that buffalo soldiers are Negroes and Canaanites.
Asia, we see identical response.
He says stolen from Africa, but you weren't stolen from Africa. You willfully left Africa thousands of years ago, and you already lived in these dwelling places, and the Israelites could not move you because you were strong and you had chariots.
American history gives its applause to this stone city. This stone city did it first. They wrote it in stone, and it speaks from the pen and from the rock. Get your enemies like a dog. He got his jobs working on the railroad as a servant, which is his number 2 position, as we see.
As a servant, you go through Washington, D.C., all you see is black people working the service industry. The buses, the police, the chauffeurs, the maitre d's. When you get to when you arrive at hotels, they're the ones that that open your doors and park your cars.
In stone, he served in all the kitchens, all the hotels, on the trains, and he shined their shoes, which the gods of Southeast Asia knew before it happened. Oh yeah, his third job, which he is most famous for
See the beard? See the mustache? See the woman playing with him? See the goatee? See the straight nose? See the crook in the nose? See the hook nose? All different tribes.
He can dance. His woman can dance and sing. Music became their industry, as we see here from The Rock. And The Rock hollers loud, Mr. Bojangles.
Yeah.
There it is in stone. From Southeast Asia in a city buried in the jungle. Oh, and they had those New Orleans marching bands too, that the Africans of Asia knew about in advance. They showed them with their marching bands and their horns and their djembe, African drum, to show what people it was. And of course, the African talking drum speaks for itself. From The Rock in a city buried in the jungle of thousands and thousands of years. According to their document, so that you wouldn't be mad at the slave master, you'd be mad at the man with the whip. They had a specific mode of beating slaves. They would have two black...
Right. You're not mad at the man controlling the cops. You're not mad at the man instructing to the police in different areas of the nation to cut down X amount per day or per week. You're mad at the one holding the whip, holding the gun. I don't blame you. I understand the logic, but listen to what he's saying. See, these are governmental powers, these state municipalities, that legally say these men can go out and fucking shoot you. No matter what situation it is, the minute that they feel uncomfortable, they can pull their gun out and point it at your fucking face.
Two blacks hold him in the front, one black hold him in the back, and another black beat him under the instructions of the white man. The slave who's receiving his beating is angry at the blacks who are beating him. This is reborn. This is what they did intentionally to make you hate each other, and this is reborn and depicted here at the effects. These are not two gladiators.
Think about it. You have a plantation with 36 blacks and 4 whites. And they controlled us all with a couple of sticks, a whip, and a gun.
Brother against brother in stone. Notice they look exactly alike. This is what the gods of Asia were telling you. The effects were brother against brother, which is in our culture. The white woman spying on the Negroes working. There they are. They snitching on each other. They got fights with each other. That's the effect of slavery. They gambled with each other, stole each other's money, tried to take each other's money, became enemies of each other. That's the effects of slavery.
And what did they do? They went to a white shop, because there are no black shops. Slaves can't own businesses. They go to a white shop, and then the white man says, I'm not going to sell to you. And when the slave leaves, the white man sends somebody to steal his money. So the slave stole the money from another slave to go purchase something, then denied, and then money later stolen from him. Very karmatic, huh?
From each other, which is endemic in our culture. One brother would get mad in stone. Here you see him solving the problem, killing you, cracking you on the head with a baseball bat in stone. The stone is screaming, telling you exactly the effects of slavery. Here we are in jail. In Southeast Asia, in the city, in the jungle. We occupy the jails all over the country. We fill them up in stone. We started drinking, taking alcohol. These are the effects of slavery. And today you find us all over America doing what we have been doing for the last 400 years, begging for survival. This is the man who did it. He wears leopard skin from the Indus Valley because a leopard is the only animal that will attack a human being without provocation. The stone speaks without provocation. That's what this is.
That's Tiglath-Pileser. He should have said his name. That's Tiglath-Pileser. That's the one that did it to us. The Assyrian. The half Mongol. Look at it. He looks half Canaanite. He looks Japanese and Mongolian.
This is the man who did it. He wears leopard skin from the Indus Valley because a leopard is the only animal that will attack.
Yeah, I always wonder, man. Like, I mean, were his eyes that damn big? No, don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh. I'm really being serious. I just.
Attack a human being without provocation. The stone speaks without provocation. That's what this does. This is a wall carving showing you everything you just saw. Almost everything. Bearing mute witness to the history of that people.
India today that they just discovered. They had ivy all over the government buildings and everything. Nobody even knew it existed. When they took all the ivy and burnt all the ivy down, they had it was like over 3,000 years old. It's a prophecy that the Negroes is going to go into captivity to a far away.
Alright, so as you can see, there's already been stonework revealing that this would happen. So think about the stonework that's here, you know, and covered up. Think about the, how do you say, the mound and the mound builders that everybody claims are all Amorite that are here, that could bring a lot of evidence to the table that the United States considers their ground. So if Amorites are black skin, like we all believe because that's what history depicts, the Moors, then they should be able to prove that this is their land by DNA testing different mounds. You know, so think about that, because you know, nobody else wants you to know you're Asian. Nobody wants you to know that. I'm one of the few people that show you you're Asian and Acts 13:1 in combination. I'm one of the few people that shows you Amos 9:7 shows you look like the Ethiopians, the wool-headed, bearded African. Okay? You need to understand these things. You truly do. They teach you came off slave boats. There's no way to take a whole people's groups, a few tribes, and you were able to grow into this now within 400 years. It doesn't happen like that. It is just, it's impossible. Now, this book, you know, Gerald Conway brings up a lot of great points. On page 170 something, it says that Maryland, there were people that the people there were 20. That's a light brown. That's a golden, orangish color. That's like I look in the summertime, not in the wintertime. She points out. I think it was 37. No. Sorry. So, Gerald Conway, 27 falls under first discoveries of America with Christopher Columbus expedition. No, that's on 43. Excuse me. America, unknown to the ancients, of the original of the Americans, whence they came, when, how, and from what people planted. This is from 11 to 42. So, on page 27, this is chapter 2. Gerald wanted me to look at the 3rd chapter. I've read this one time. I'm gonna go up one chapter. Paragraph. 3rd paragraph. I'm gonna go up one paragraph. The 7th king of Edom, Moses reckoned with to be Baal Banan, which name is transposing the syllables the famous Carthaginian general Hannibal bear. Oh, that's interesting. So he's saying that Hanan is Hannibal. Oh. Hanan Baal. Hannibal. No shit. They took part of this and then yeah. Alright, so this is the 7th king of Edom. This is Hannibal, the Carthaginian king Hannibal that they write about, that went up against the Romans, is the king of Edom. Moreover, it may easily be demonstrated that the Phoenicians extracted from Heber have formerly spoke Hebrew, and since Arabic, for they dwelt before their removing to the stony Arabia. Oh. So he's saying the Arabs started in the Americas and moved to Arabia. Saint Jerome, faith, the Punic tongue. This is the Punics, the Punic Wars. Was it negative? It's BC 200 BCE. The Punic tongue agrees for the most part with the Hebrews. And Saint Austin tells us that many, nay, most of the Carthaginian words are Hebrew. So it's not saying that the Carthaginians are Israelites, it's saying that they're Hebrew and that they're Edomites. Elisha Dido, the first founders of Carthage, proves this, for Elisha or Elisha with the Hebrew denotes the Lamb of God, and Dido, a lover. But who can find the least likeness between the Hebrews or the Arabic tongue with the Americas? Lastly, since the Phoenicians acknowledge Esau for a father, what then concerns the Americans, the curse of Canaan? Since they are no more extracted from Canaan than the Phoenicians, thus much concerns the Phoenicians. Some would derive the Americans from the Jews, others from the 10 tribes of Israel carried into captivity. This is when they are coming to America. They didn't bring anybody with them. They're saying, wow, these fucking Indians are the Jews. The ones in the south, I think, are Edom, but I can tell are Carthaginian and Phoenician. But the ones in the north, oh, they're the Jews. Or the lost 10 tribes. I can't tell. Let me read this again. Some would derive the Americans. So they didn't come over with the fucking name Americans. They weren't calling us Mexicans or this or that. They called us all Americans. From Canada to South America, the Europeans have the word Americans in this book. This is just a reprint. It's not translated from another language. This is in English. When they draw an S, it's in the shape of an F without the crossing of a T. You know what I'm saying? This says, some would derive the Americans. See, your dark-skinned ass is American. You're not African. You are the American Indians. Some would derive the Americans from the Jews. Others, see, this is an argument they're having. Some think they're Jews. Others think they're the lost 10 tribes. He's basically saying some think you're the northern kingdom, some think you're the southern kingdom. They're confused to a degree. But they still fucking know you're Hebrew. Some would derive the Americans from the Jews. Others from the 10 tribes of Israel carried into captivity. The ground of which opinions is that the Jews and Israelites were scattered among all nations. When they came here, they shipped our asses out. That the Jews and Israelites were scattered among all nations. Therefore, they conclude that America was also peopled by them. That means Negro. That means born in Africa but non-African. That you peopled everybody there. That's the pleasant way of you fucked through everyone. That means you laid your egg for the Canaanite, all Canaanites, and that means you put your seed inside the Canaanite, all Canaanite. Now, when I'm saying all Canaanite, I mean all Canaanite that was still on the land, the 7 nations that were there. And I don't mean you banged everybody in the tribe. That means you just intermingled with them. That means we as a group intermingled with them. That doesn't mean that the 2 are one. That means there's 2 separate groups. 2 separate groups, but there's some that's salt and peppered in between. When I say you banged all of them, all 7, you took a taste. Therefore, they conclude. Therefore, it is the Europeans' opinion that America is also peopled by the Israelites, by the Jews, or the northern kingdom, whichever it may be. The rather because the ancient Jews and Americans were of one complexion. We all had the same tinted windows. We still had different color different kind of cars. We're all the same complexion. Spanish came over here, raped into us, and created the Mexican. Now, I'm not saying anything racist. I'm saying actual history. This isn't the first time I said it, so don't get offended. Where is the Mexican 800 years ago? 800 years ago, it's the Negro called a Mexim. Mexica. The famous cartographer Arnoldus Montanus draws Montezuma as Negro. Uses the name Rex Ulamus. The Europeans brought the W over here. Ulamus would be Williams today. They've tricked us on a level that is fun to discover. It's now fun. I'm beyond a lot of the anger. It's just fun now. And this is just one paragraph. When you really just break down the words that are really being said and then combine it to history and combine it to Bible, then you've got a real element. Therefore, they must conclude that America was also peopled by them being the Israelites, no matter what it be, north or south, even though they call the southern kingdom, the Jerusalem kingdom, the Jews, and they call the northern kingdom Israel, or Israelites, just like the Bible does. Rather because, isn't that funny? Everybody here in North America calls themselves the Israelites. Nobody calls themselves the Jews here. They say they're from the tribe of Judah. That just means tribe of Judah is ruling over them. You know, like it's kind of, anyway. The rather because the ancient Jews and the Americans were of one complexion, and went alike habited, both going without shoes, only wearing sandals, and an upper coat over a shorter linen vest. Did you hear that? These Indians wore upper coats and they wore vests. Only at war did we strip down and put feathers on. And when the European came, we were constantly at war. So we wouldn't run around with overcoats and vests. These savages, I showed you that Arnoldus Montanus, right? That picture of him. Because in that image, you see behind Montezuma the buildings. See, they told you there were savages here. There it is. Images. And we go to the color. Now, let's just blow this up. Now, in the background, you can see what looks like Capitol buildings. You can see a wall over here, a wall over there, a town on the inside down in here. That's a roof. That's two different roofs. See the peak right there? See the peak right here? See how this forms a line that goes back and then comes down right here? See the tip right there? See the matching tip right there for the second one behind it? See, there's two different ones. There's a building down here. See, that's a town, a wall, and a Capitol building behind it. This is what they destroyed. See, they're not telling you the truth. This is why Columbus fucking sailed home expecting to be a hero and went to jail. Here. Oh, forgot the A. Thanks. Third voyage. Columbus ends up imprisoned. First time for the route. Second time, scope out the people. Third time, he was supposed to gain a foothold. And what did he do? He slaughtered everybody. 1493, he returns a hero. 1498, he's imprisoned for mass murder. Wake up, people. You were fucking slaughtered.